You're supposed to jack off at the movie theater.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Welcome to the Black Lincoln Collective podcast.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. We can stay up late, swapping manly stories, and in the morning, I'll make it pop.
With your host, Parker. Featuring the sultry sounds of Fred and also Alan on the board.
Let's go already!
And now, let's start the damn show.
Welcome, one and all, to the 104th edition of the Black Lincoln Collective podcast. The only podcast that talks the walk and walks the talk.
Yeah.
We're so glad you joined us, and we appreciate your support very, very much.
Very, very much.
You can keep up with us at blcpodcast.com. And please drop us a like or a follow on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course our TikTok.
X.
Please. I'm sorry.
That's right.
On
X, that's right.
X. That's so
Switch
stupid.
that shit up.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not going to switch it out. You know why? Because
Triple
fuck's
X.
X.
Triple X.
Triple X will be better. Anyway, so please rate us on your podcast, on whatever podcast platform you like. And tell your friends. Why not? We also have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/blcworld. And we are, of course, broadcast on the Pop Culture Pros Network. Check them out at popculturepros.com. And now, the second least walkative guy I know, it's Fred. It's like walking, but...
You know, like, somebody told you about my bad knees.
Yep. And they said, that doesn't... They're like, he doesn't do much walking.
No,
He's not real walkative.
No, I'm not a walkative guy.
I bought a watch that has a step tracker. It's like 3 every day. 3. I don't even know how that works.
Three steps.
Like, yeah,
just 3
steps every day.
Yeah, just
I
3.
roll to the car. And as always, I'm here to introduce my buddy, my pal, the guy that gets all the gals, Alan OTB.
Alan, who got flamed on Reddit by someone who will not be named.
No, that was awesome.
So welcome to the show. What is it? So you have a wingspan. It's like the length between your arms. What is that for your legs?
Leg span?
Leg span. See, that's probably what I just have a big.
Who can spread their legs that way? I can't.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Not side to side. Not side to side, but like when you're walking, your gait. Your gait is what it's called.
Oh, your gait?
I have a long gait, so that's why I only get 3 steps in a day.
Well, I'm elongated, so
We'll get to that later on in the show. Well, welcome very much to the show. What the fuck? Welcome very much. Welcome to the show. We are glad you joined us. Unfortunately, if you couldn't tell, we're all out of sorts. And the reason we're out of sorts is because we lost probably a childhood hero of all 3 of us.
We really did, man.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Mr. Pee Wee Herman, Paul Reubens.
Mr. Pee Wee, man.
It's a sad day.
Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Do you think he did all the bad stuff they said that he did?
What?
I don't
Jack off in
know.
the movie theater?
Oh, that's all he did?
That's all he did. Come
thought
on,
he
and
did
he was
more
at
than
the
that.
movie.
And it was a dirty movie theater. That's
Right.
what you're supposed to do at the dirty movie.
All movie theaters around us are
Jack off in
dirty.
the fucking movie
Come
theater.
on, that was just dumb.
Let's isolate that, Alan.
And
Can we isolate
split
that and
it
put it
in
at the beginning of the
popcorn,
show? You're supposed to jack off at the movie theater. Put that on a t-shirt. Put that on a t-shirt and wear it to the next Marvel
What do you
movie.
think they're going in there watching the show? You know what I'm saying? You think you're going
Just
in there
for fun.
to watch the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to go in there and get your gay dick sucked and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Why does you have to be gay?
Where you go from just
We might have to bleep that out.
yeah,
Alan.
you're supposed to do all of it. You're supposed to do all
Yeah,
that stuff.
that's what
I've
movies are
never
for,
been.
Fred.
no.
I've never been.
Have you never seen Oppenheimer, Alan? That's all it is. It's a bunch of people jerking it. The whole movie.
No, I
You're
hadn't seen
supposed to
it.
nut when the bomb goes off.
Right, that's the whole thing. That's the Oppenheimer challenge on TikTok.
Oppenheimer challenge.
Follow our TikTok for the Oppenheimer challenge. If you do it right then, everyone explodes at the same time. It's awesome.
Pee Wee was like for real. Like, what about like that's why I got my personality like through Pee Wee. Like it's just silly.
Yeah, no, he's a
good. It's just silly, goofy.
Well, unfortunately, another one got taken by cancer, and that sucks.
What was the first time you were introduced to Pee Wee? Was it
Pee Wee's Playhouse? Yeah,
the Playhouse. Yeah,
and then the movies, of course. Did the movies come after?
I thought it was. My guess was the movie.
I remember like watching the Playhouse, and then like because this was in the day of VCRs,
right?
They had the Pee Wee stage play, which was similar. Yeah, it was similar, but like totally adult rated. Like,
well, his stand-up is pretty adult rated.
Yeah,
wasn't the Playhouse supposed to be adult anyway? It was like it was for kids.
I think it was. Yeah,
was for kids.
It was for kids, but it was for kids who were a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know, if you were into weird stuff, like not just your standard humor, it was definitely so.
Right.
If you were jacking off and stuff like that, then
right in theaters, and you would love Pee Wee's Playhouse. So it had Lawrence Fishburne in it, right?
In the stage play, like he would talk about titties.
He does jerk off.
Like he would talk. Phil Hartman was in it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Phil Hartman was in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, like a lot of people got they start around Pee Wee, dude.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
But
and all that was
Cowboy Curtis was
Lawrence Fishburne, right?
Was Lawrence Fishburne? Yeah.
Which crazy.
There was a couple more like famous people that
that spawned from
through,
that.
That came through the Playhouse. You know.
Well, speaking of people spawning, not really.
Make a high, make a honey hole.
Let me introduce our guest for this evening, who's
make a high, make a Jimmy hole.
What he said. So please welcome to the show. I want to say ex-girlfriend again, but I can already do it. Welcome to the show, my lovely wife. Hello, dear.
You're gonna say my future widower.
You can say girlfriend. It's okay.
How does that work? Future? Yeah, I guess my future widow, right?
Yeah, my future widow. So, I'm sorry. Widower is a man. Yeah.
Are you planning on outliving your wife?
I like that.
I don't know. She's been creeping me out lately, man. She keeps talking about like. She's like, I got 2 plots for them to be buried at. And I don't know which one I want to. I'm like,
well, sell one, make some money.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm like,
I don't have any plots. I'm just going to throw you in the retention pond back behind our house. So.
There you go.
There you go.
The way the Lord intended.
Always, Daddy will be always there.
Yep, the way the Lord intended.
Yeah.
Let my bones be eaten by frogs.
She asked me, she's like, where do you want to be buried at? Fucking no.
Under the ground.
I'm not even thinking about, why would I think about it? I mean, I guess you got to be prepared, but.
Yeah, but she might be asking, like, and if you were, what are you not, how are you not expecting to die? Poison? Is it poison? Can you drink? Is it getting hit by your wife's car? Is it the children?
Man.
The children. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, man. I don't even
cheap, and then that way you
can
I want to be turned into a diamond.
Yeah, spread my ashes on somebody else's grave. You know what I mean?
On my enemies' graves.
Make it cheap. You know what I mean? Like, don't you want to be buried by your grandparents? Nah, just cremate me and spread my ashes on top of them. You know what I'm saying?
Just rub it out. Rub one out on them.
Yeah, rub it out.
Yeah,
in honor of me. Rub it on all my enemies' graves.
Jesus.
Well, our special guest this evening apparently was creeped out.
I guess she
going to sneak up behind me.
She went to get the knife.
Yeah, right? She's like, oh, we can go ahead and take care of this problem right now.
Sorry, I couldn't hear anything. I had to turn off the fan.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, welcome to the show, dear. We're so glad you joined us for your.
I don't believe that, but okay.
We are.
Glad to have you. I love it when you come on. Sam.
He loves it. They love it because you give me so much shit.
This is your third time?
4th. She was on 2 weeks ago.
4?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because the first one was murder and the second one was murder.
Congratulations.
Murder again.
Welcome to the 4-timers club.
Right.
I feel so special.
You're the honoree. You're the first
I think so.
honoree.
Because we had Landon on 3 times.
Yeah, Landon's like right behind her.
Right.
Oh, but
we've had
Landon.
Raymond on twice.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right there. You're leading the pack. Congratulations.
Yeah. She's the leader of the pack.
Pap, 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 pap. All right. So you're here to tell us about a mysterious mystery of some sort. I don't even know.
No, you don't know because I don't think it's called Chifforobe.
You didn't tell me.
Or Curiosities, but
It's
it's
close
okay.
enough.
That is how you
Someone
spell
tried
curiosities.
real
Curiosities. That is how you spell curiosity.
No,
wasn't
that's
me
not
this
how you
time.
spell Curiosities.
Curiosity.
Still love whoever typed it. It's okay. You tried real hard.
Curiosities. That is how you spell it. Oh, I put a U in there. Alan put a U in there. Fuck you, Alan.
I can't even say those words.
I spell it
Shana.
Okay. Well, it's Shana's Chifforobe of Curiosities.
You spelled my name right.
Well, that's pretty
That's
good.
good. And
Congratulations on that.
You spelled O.
So I spelled Chifforobe right. I looked it up. Alan looked it up.
I don't know that.
All right. So what? What?
What?
What?
Is that
exactly?
is that for it?
Is that what?
Go ahead.
Okay.
We don't know what you're gonna say. I can't be
Get
like, hey.
into it.
So who got killed or what murdered what?
The year was
Oh,
19.
Alan, do you have like in post? Can you do like a creaky door noise? So it's. We've just opened up the Chifforobe of
Chifforobe.
Curiosities.
We can do it right now.
Exactly. The Chifforobe is open.
All right.
And out come the
that was
Curiosities. That was not good.
So I listen.
Well, bust up
So
that Chifforobe.
you guys don't know this, but I listen to every episode that y'all do.
Oh.
Just because
Really?
Of the
I will-
podcast?
I really
Really?
just like to argue with it and be like, "Damn it!"
Do
Yeah.
you?
She
I
usually
know the
comes home and is
answer to
like,
all of these things.
you don't know anything. And I'm like, yeah, I've been married. I'm aware.
That is commitment.
And I just tell Matt, like, you guys talked about this, and this is wrong, and this is right. But anyways, so I listened to last week's
I've
episode.
never heard this
and
is right.
Alan, you were talking about how you went to New York
And I saw I got
for
to
vacation.
Saw that
Right.
Turns out you-
shit.
Turns out you went to New Jersey.
No. It was in Queens. It was in Queens. The Wardio was in Queens.
All right, so this story actually takes place in New York, and
Nice segue.
Nailed it.
I try. So what if you had to think of New York? What is one of the most famous streets that you can think of in New York?
Hey, yo,
Fifth
it's
Avenue.
Fifth Avenue.
Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, Fifth Avenue.
I'm square over
It might
here.
easily be
Fifth
Canal
Avenue.
Street. That's where all the hookers
Fifth
hang out.
Avenue.
Well, I don't know them. I couldn't tell their story.
125th Street. That's up in Harlem.
But Fifth Avenue. So
Martin Luther King
Fifth
Boulevard.
Avenue, that is what they call Millionaires Row. That's where all the
Right.
rich people live. All of the
High
wealthy
fashion.
people. They have like restaurants, museums, all that stuff on there. But this story takes place almost 100 years ago, and no one is very aware of the dark history that is behind Fifth Avenue. And that's where this story takes place.
I'm
So
intrigued.
I'm curious.
I'm intrigued.
I tried.
I
You got my
am too.
curiosity.
What's with that?
Basically, this story starts out, it's March 9th of 1947.
That's they did
And-
That's 2 weeks ago, basically.
Pretty much. So a man slipped out of a brownstone on Fifth Avenue, and it's a 3-story brownstone. So
Right.
pretty big deal back in the day.
Yeah, that's the one Bill Cosby lived in.
Really?
Yeah.
I doubt it was this one.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
get to that, but
All right.
I mean, maybe they were
Jello on the
neighbors.
ground.
I
or
love-
something.
he slipped on the Jello.
But the man's name was Langley Collier, and at the time he was 61 years old. So he left his house. Langley was an engineer, a concert pianist, super wealthy.
Pianist.
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 Yes, pianist.
Pianist. The pen is in.
He played the piano.
Yeah.
But Langley, he
did on
didn't.
the keys.
Oh, God.
The key diddler.
It's not me this time.
Sorry, go ahead.
See, the problem is I can't hear you guys well enough to know when you're actually saying things. So I'm just talking over y'all.
No, you're fine. Just keep talking. We'll keep talking too.
Keep talking.
Okay. But Langley, if you looked at him, you wouldn't know he was wealthy because he didn't dress like he had money. He didn't act like it.
It was an Adam Sandler type.
Also because he's dead.
Well, yeah. Well, he's dead now, so you really wouldn't know. But back then, people who saw him, he walked around with like his coat had safety pins and like he dumpster dived. You wouldn't know that he had all the money that he had, but
they throw pennies at him.
Yeah. So
a lot of
that
money back
night, he actually traveled 8 miles away, which on foot is a big deal.
Yeah.
So he walked 8 miles away from his home. It was cold. It was snowing. March in New York is not March in South Carolina. So, it was cold. It was snowing. So he traveled the 8 miles. He was going to Brooklyn, and he had a specific place he was going in Brooklyn. Because he had to get something for his brother. His older brother's name was Homer. Homer was a couple of years older than him. And he had a task he had to meet for Homer. So he was traveling to Brooklyn to go dumpster diving. He got there. It was around 2 a.m. when he got there. And people saw him, going to those dumpsters, getting what he needed to get.
He got robbed by some black people. It's Brooklyn.
I mean...
Yeah, but that was
in the house.
The 20s, man.
You can say that. I would never say that.
It was Italians.
Yes.
So, anyways, we're going to jump forward to 2 or 3 weeks later. Mm-hmm. The police department near the Collier. Huh?
So what did he do?
Yeah, what happened?
He just went to the...
I can't get there just yet. I can't tell you because...
Okay, so he went to dumpster dive in Brooklyn.
Yes.
And then...
2 weeks.
He went to dumpster dive in Brooklyn. But we're going to jump forward.
Set this up. Okay, yes, set this up.
Damn it, just go along with it. Do you want to story or not?
We're going.
Come on.
Keep it up.
This is what it's all about. Come on.
You always do this to me, and it's very frustrating.
That's why we do it, because
we just check it.
We like to see you frustrated. It's funny.
I don't.
So we're going to take it out on Parker with this.
Right.
So, that's all.
Anyways, a few weeks later,
all right,
there's a phone call to...
He's going to Cardi B me and throw the mic in my face.
There's a phone call to the police department down the road from where the Collier brothers live.
I've been in Brooklyn 2 weeks, doll.
The sergeant there answers the phone, and the person on the other end, he says his name is Charles Smith, and he says that there is a dead body in the Collier brothers' home.
Man, see? Collier brothers got a dead body, see? Man.
But the problem is, the Collier brothers, they're very eccentric.
Gay.
Like they're...
20s gay.
They're
20s gay. Yeah.
He's on a gay.
Yeah, 20s gay, man.
That's a good way to put it.
They're 20s.
You're swinging from the wrong side of the plate there, boys.
More than that, they're just weird. Like beyond the he's gay, they're just weird.
Right.
And so the police officers at the station, they're like, oh shit, we always are getting calls about them and it's always something. So they're like, you know what? I'm not going to send like a squad out there. The sergeant's like, I'll just send some random guy when he has time, maybe not today, maybe next week, whenever.
I'm glad they just said it's a dead body, just whatever.
But they were just like, that's just another weird thing that someone's reporting about the Collier brothers. Whatever.
Yeah, those boys are a little late in the loafers. We'll go check it out later.
Well, we'll
give them the baton they don't want.
That too, but we're not there yet. Quit jumping ahead.
Okay. You're the one skip 2 weeks.
I know.
So the sergeant sends a police officer out there, and this guy, he's like brand new to the force, police officer, so he gets out there and
he's a rookie flatfoot, see?
He knocks on the door. doesn't hear anything.
Come on out, fruitcakes.
That's not recorded, so I don't know if that's what he said,
we're just speculating.
Yeah, we're just trying to. What we're trying to do is we're trying to bring people into the story by adding some dialogue.
Yeah, no, I
some salt and
appreciate
pepper
it.
on your chicken. That's all we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. I've been here before. This isn't my first rodeo.
Sure.
4 times.
So, anyways, like I said,
Cop comes out.
the cop comes out. He knocks on the door. There's no answer. And he ends up having to call like other police officers.
Back up.
Yeah, back up.
We're gonna need some
But
backup.
you know how we jumped forward a minute ago?
Yep.
Yep.
Let's
Now we're
jump
jumping
back.
Let's jump back a little bit.
Rainbow
So let's learn more about the Collier brothers. Because I couldn't just tell you a story. I got to jump
Sure.
a bunch of,
Right. Now we go
I
flash
gotta
back
keep you
on the
guessing.
Colliers. Yeah.
Sure.
So anyways, the Collier brothers, they were
1873.
born,
1873.
1927.
No. It's
No.
1920.
They were born. All she's saying is they were born.
Oh, they were born.
At
Oh,
some
okay.
point in time.
That's
they
how
were
far we're
born.
going back. They were
Oh,
born.
okay.
No, it was the late 1800s when they were born. Because at this point in time, it's in the late 1940s. They're in
Oh,
their
it's 20s. I thought we were
60s.
in the 20s.
I thought we were in the 20s too.
I thought
No,
we were
in the
20s.
beginning we were. No, we're not.
Okay. We're in
Okay,
the
that's
40s. Okay. I have to change out my voice now.
Y'all just don't see. Y'all just keep talking. Y'all don't pay attention.
We're in the
I
40s.
Y'all would never be good detectives. So, anyways,
We'd be
huh?
great gays though.
You said that. You know what?
the
When I was
swinging
typing this
40s.
out, it made so much sense. And then when I started talking about it,
yeah. I love it. That's how it goes.
y'all have made it not make any sense.
Let's go. We got it.
Okay, so
Collier brothers were born.
yeah, the Collier brothers.
Born.
The Collier brothers, their dad was a doctor.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure,
They
yeah,
got a
sure.
little money. They got a little money.
You say it like I'm lying about it.
No, I meant sure. Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
doctor. I don't know.
doctor.
There's
How could he be a doctor?
He's a witch doctor. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah.
Just a doctor.
He's a doctor.
Bing bang walla
So
bing bang.
he would actually, when they were younger, he would bring home like
Proctologist.
even maybe
Like anuses.
It
We
was
just bring
back-
home anuses.
That's
no,
why they
it
were
was
gay.
back in like the late 1800s. So I just assume that there's only one. You're just a doctor.
He's just a doctor.
Yeah, you're not like a proctologist or anything like that. You're just a doctor.
He's just a
He carried a
doctor.
saw. That's basically
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
He
Well,
had that little
so
black bag full of morphine.
Hey boys, brought home a whole batch of anuses today.
their dad, because they actually
Sawed 'em right off.
brownstone on Fifth Avenue. They were born there, both of them.
Okay.
They were born
so,
there. They grew up there, and their dad, when he would
died
go
there.
out on calls or whatever the fuck doctors do, I don't know.
Make his
He
rounds.
actually went by canoe. So
Which is hard to
anything
do on a
that
street.
wasn't in the
Oh,
area
East
where he
River?
was at, he would just like walk down the road with the canoe on his back and just like canoe
Was a canoodler, huh?
through the Hudson River to get wherever he needed to go.
Right.
So he was real eccentric too. That's the main theme of these guys is they were very eccentric.
Dr.
And-
Collier's canoe doctoring coming to you.
He would bring home body parts in jars,
I told you.
and he would give them to the brothers as gifts. So they grew up, they had like brains and fingers and all that kind of stuff and body in jars in their house.
Wow.
So
Because they didn't have
Children?
toys. There was no Toys R Us back then, right?
no. It's like Merry Christmas, here's a brain.
Yep.
And
Like, here's a bucket full of toenails. Enjoy.
so their mom was actually
Oh, Frankenstein.
You don't have to say something after every sentence.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just thinking.
We got to drag this out, Shana.
He brought a lot of body parts home. He could have made him a wife. Just saying.
No, well, his wife was his first cousin. So
Oh.
there's
Well.
that.
See, they always talk about the South. It ain't just the South.
No, that's just white people. White people do stupid shit. They marry their first
It ain't just
cousins.
the
And,
South, man.
He didn't get around a lot back then, especially by canoe.
no, and
You got a
rich
whole
people-
damn city to choose
You
from.
know, rich people back then, they married
Yeah.
within their families.
Right, they kept it in the family.
To keep it in the bloodline, so that
Right.
things like you kept that
The
money in
money.
the family,
The
and
money, yeah.
right. Which
It's called old
not to
money.
get off on a tangent, but that's like the whole royal family. It's
Yeah.
all that's why they have the jaws and they like horses because they all married each other.
You heard it here
Exactly.
first.
Well, have teeth like this.
Yeah. But anyways, so he married his first cousin, and everything was great except for when the boys were young. The dad, the doctor,
Right.
decided that he was going to convert the entire house into a sanatorium,
Why would
which
you do
I don't know if
that?
y'all know what a sanatorium is.
Yeah,
but
it's
basically
crazy
it's like a hospital / resort for like people with tuberculosis
Sure.
and mental illnesses and things like
Great
that.
for kids.
Yeah. Got to
Well,
keep the
it's
money
not
coming
great
in.
to him, apparently. So
Wouldn't want your
there
boys
was,
to be
like-
lighting the loafers. Let's get some crazy people in there.
Yes. So, anyways,
Daddy's
that
going
was
out
a
in the canoe
whole
for
thing
cigarettes.
between the mom and the dad. I guess they stayed together. There's nothing to say that they like divorced or anything
Sure.
like that. But
Right.
it was a big issue between the two of them.
She didn't want it, and he wanted it.
Yeah, she did not want it,
No.
but it also did not become a sanatorium. So I'm thinking that she won that argument. There's a lot,
She got her way.
for stories that
woman.
take place so long ago. There's only so much
Sure.
Right.
that you can find out about
Information.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But that being said, the house didn't turn into a sanatorium, and also they didn't divorce. So
Good. Good for them.
who knows?
Good job. Keep the family together.
She
Yeah,
won,
literally.
and he didn't have to live by himself. But anyways, going back to the brothers, so they were both very, very smart. Homer, the older brother, he got a scholarship to Columbia University when he was 14, like a full ride. So he went to Columbia. He got a law degree.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah. What'd you say?
It's not what you know, it's who you know. The dad's the doctor of Brooklyn. Or,
Yeah.
Your dad's a
Canoe.
doctor with a canoe.
He's a
Come
canoe
on,
whisperer.
Columbia.
Your dad's the crazy guy that brings home brains? Sounds perfect.
He's a canoe doctor.
He's like, I want to be a doctor. Can you bring your own specimen? Sure.
But Langley, the younger brother, he was the one that we talked about in the beginning.
Right.
He was 5 years younger than Homer, and he went to Columbia too. He actually got 2 degrees. So he got a degree in engineering and he got a degree in chemistry. But even though he got those degrees, he actually was like a super gifted pianist. I know
That pianist again.
Oh yeah,
you
yeah.
hear laughs out, but
No, that's great. Good for him.
but he played for like royalty at Carnegie Hall.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like super gifted with that. So he didn't really use a lot of what he learned at Columbia. He used more of the talent that he had playing the piano.
Sure.
Homer,
Right.
with the law degree, he was, a pretty well respected lawyer in the area. He had a lot of famous clients.
You're a canoe
so-
lawyer.
What?
He's the only lawyer that operates by canoe.
Yeah. Come and see you.
No one said anything about him using a canoe. I can't verify that,
He
but
takes after his father.
Allegedly.
but even though these guys were like super famous, had tons of money, neither of them ever married.
Okay.
They didn't have any cousins left.
I didn't say that. Yeah, I don't know. There may not have been any female cousins for them to marry. So they never married. They both lived at home in that brownstone. Their mom and dad both passed away, and they both continued to live there for a long time. Their entire lives until they died.
Rest of the day.
So
Which was when?
Huh?
Which was when?
2 weeks after the story.
I didn't hear you.
We don't want to know when they died yet.
Okay, go ahead. It's a stupid joke. Go ahead. They lived there for the rest of their life.
Lived for thousands of years.
Yes.
There you go.
I mean, they could still be alive today. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not giving away anything.
They still.
Anyway, so they lived there, and even though they had all this money, they started to like draw away from the community. They didn't talk to people. It got so bad that they actually quit paying their utilities, so they didn't have power, they didn't have running water, and they lived in this house, this mansion. And it wasn't they didn't have the money, they just didn't care anymore, and they didn't want to deal with people. And when their power was shut off, Langley, who was the younger brother, who had, the degree in engineering and chemistry, when their power got shut off, he said, fuck it, I'm not going to pay this bill. He went out and got the engine for a Model T, a Model T car.
That shit up.
Yeah.
And he converted that to where a generator, exactly. So they lived like that for a while, and then the bank and a police officer.
Carbon monoxide must have been hell.
They don't care about that. It was the 30s. They don't care about that.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess at this point, that's probably around 1937, 38.
Okay.
Because it was about 14 years before the rest of the story takes place.
Okay.
So they turned the Model T into a generator, the Model T engine into a generator. And at one point, a police officer and a banker showed up at their door because they hadn't paid their mortgage in so long. And when they got there, they knocked on the door, and Langley came to the door, and he's like, what's going on? And basically they were going to say, like, you got to get out. And he was like, you know what? Here's a check. So he just wrote a check for the entire mortgage, paid the entire house off. It wasn't they didn't have money. They just wanted to deal with people.
They just want to do it, yeah.
Yeah. So at this point, their house is paid off. They're not paying for electricity. They don't have any running water.
Yeah.
But, I guess they're happy. They don't want to deal with anyone.
They smoking opium.
Huh?
They smoking opium.
Probably. Most likely.
Yeah, they smoking opium, dude.
Well, around that same time, Homer, who's the older brother, he ends up having a stroke.
Uh-oh.
And he is left even worse. He's left completely blind.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
and immobile. So he sits in a chair, and Langley takes care of him. He gives him his food and everything.
Not really. He won't even go pay the bills. He ain't taking care of that dude. He's just
He's like, well, I'll fire up the generator.
I'll sit him next to the tailpipe. Let him get all that fresh air.
So, anyways, Homer, he can't move, he can't see. He's basically just confined to a chair for the rest of his life.
Vegetable.
Delicious.
He's a vegetable.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a fruitcake.
He's arugula.
Yes.
That made a good joke.
I like arugula. That's a good one. So, anyways, we're going to get back to the beginning of the story when the cop is knocking on the door, right? Flashback, forward, back.
We're all over the place.
So, we're back to 1947, and the cop that we had talked about originally, he's knocking on the door. He calls out the 7 other cops. They finally are like, you know what? We're just going to knock this door down. We're going to get in there because there's something going on. Because he managed to get the door cracked like an inch and a half. And as soon as he got that door cracked a little bit, he could just smell
it. And I
he
smell
could
him.
smell something.
Norman, is that you?
And he was like, if there's not a dead body in there, there's something in there.
It's about to be.
Yeah. But from my understanding, there is a very distinct smell of like decomposition that
Sure.
people who have smelt it they know what they're smelling. So he got all these other cops out there. They're trying to get the door open. They can't get the door open. So finally they get another cop to climb to, because it's a 3-story brownstone.
Right.
They try to get to the second floor. They can't get a window open up there. They get some kind of ladder. I don't know how it works in the 1940s. I don't know what kind of ladders they have, but someone gets up to the 3rd floor and they're able to get into a window. And when they get in, they realize, oh shit, there is so much stuff in this house. So basically what's blocking the door for them to get on the 1st floor, it isn't like they made a wall or anything like that. They have hoarded so much stuff into this house that basically there is a wall where no one can get in on the 1st floor. And it's just books and sewing machines and just all this stuff.
Stuff.
When they got in, and we'll get to this later on, but when they got in, they realized that just in the 1st floor alone, there's over 25,000 books alone. Just books.
Easy.
Right in the front.
They ain't reading all that.
No. Well, I don't know. They're smart. What else are they going to do?
Right.
Well, I guess Homer's not reading. He's blind. But,
You can't see.
maybe the other one's reading something.
Listening to the radio program.
But so they get in and they're like, oh my God, this isn't just someone might be dead in here. Like, what are we going to find in here? So apparently the brothers, all these years, they have been like, they hoarded all this stuff, not necessarily because they wanted it. Some stuff they did, but they had convinced themselves that, oh God, our neighbors are going to break in and steal everything. So
we need 25,000 of everything.
Let's get whatever we can from dumpsters to create a wall so no one can break in.
They were definitely smoking opium.
Yeah, probably.
Makes a lot of sense.
And they really did. I mean, once the police went in there, they really did have a lot of really valuable stuff. They had like a shit ton of money. They had jewelry. They had like all this stuff. But I guess to them, the valuable stuff was like the stupid stuff, like the body parts their dad had brought home. And,
the sentimental crap.
Yeah, the books and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, once they get in, they, look on the 3rd floor and there's just a ton of stuff. They get to the 2nd floor, ton of stuff, same thing. And they're still like, oh shit, there's so much stuff in here. But when they get to the 1st floor, they realize what's causing the smell is
the brother
Homer in his chair. And he's been dead, what they estimate to be like 10 hours. And he has like orange peels around him and all this random stuff around him. And so when they find him dead, they're like, they think Langley is the one who did it.
Yeah.
But they can't find him. So they do this like...
He's under the books.
Well, they do this manhunt. So, it's still the 40s, so it's a little different than now. But, they put out a bulletin to all the other police departments and everything, and everyone is looking out for Langley because they know he had something to do with his death. Like, he's done something to kill his brother. And they don't know why. They don't know if it's, money related or what it could be. He is the older brother, and, the dad had a lot of money. So they're thinking, maybe it's an inheritance thing. Maybe he just got sick of taking care of him because at this point,
would be my
he had been blind and, he's been sitting in this chair for all these years, basically. Maybe he just got sick of taking care of him and he just offed him.
I done did him like an old dog. Come on, we're going for a car ride, boy.
Well, I don't know that they had a car.
Drive him upstate.
We're going on a canoe ride.
They didn't even really have electricity, so I doubt they had a car. And he walked to Brooklyn. So, so anyways.
Okay.
They do this manhunt. They're trying to find Langley. And nothing, like no one finds him. They spent about 2 or 3 weeks looking for him. And on the 19th day after, because they're still going through this house. There's so much in this house that even if they're putting all their guys on it, it's just so much. You know, they don't have the machinery we have now or anything like that. So it's just like basically guys in there barehanding everything, just like pulling everything out, looking.
Loading it up on horses and carriages.
Right. So the 19th day, they finally make a break in the case. And basically what happened was they found Langley's body.
Yeah.
So that night that he went out, that we talked about in the beginning.
Books.
Yeah. Well, see, he went out because he had been convinced. He read his dad's books, his like medical books and all that, and he was convinced that oranges would cure his brother's blindness. So there was like a fruit stand in Brooklyn, 8 miles away. So at night, after everyone was asleep,
midnight fruit stand
to the dumpster, because God forbid he actually buy the oranges.
Right.
He would walk there and he would dumpster dive for oranges. And apparently Homer had been on an oranges only diet for weeks leading up to this. So he went and got these oranges
again.
He went and got these oranges, and he got back, and because they were so paranoid about like people breaking in and stealing their stuff, they had, well, I say they, I guess it was Langley, because Homer was just sitting blind in his chair, but Langley created all these booby traps so that if people were to break in, stuff would collapse on them or something like that.
Jones.
Yeah. But what ended up happening was when Langley came back with his oranges, he forgot about one of the booby traps and it collapsed on him.
He killed himself.
And he was crushed to death under all these books. So basically, Homer, so he was there for almost 4 weeks before the cops found him.
Right.
So he died 4 weeks and Homer died 10 days before they found him?
Right. So the smell they had smelled, that the person who called in the tip, and the police, what they smelled was, it wasn't Homer, because at that point he wasn't even dead.
Right.
It was Langley, because Langley had been crushed to death under all these books with his oranges for his brother. And
oh my God.
What they ended up realizing was he was crushed to death, and then, this is gross, mice ended up eating him.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so that's why they didn't see him originally when they first
New York
got
don't
in
have
there.
mice, they have rats.
The rats, yeah.
Rats, yeah, I guess. Rats, yeah. So the rats ended up eating him to the point where police didn't see any remains of his until they started digging things out. So it was really hard to say if this was a murder or a crime.
No, yeah, this is
poor Homer.
But it's a crazy ass story. But anyways, that being said, now people who suffer from the disease of like hoarding all this stuff, it's actually called Collier syndrome.
Oh, look at that.
Because they are one of the first, this is one of the first recorded instances
of hoarding. Damn. Collier.
Mm-hmm. And if you go to that little area on Fifth Avenue,
you can get crushed by books too.
No,
feels on the ground.
They ended up taking all the stuff out of there. And when they finished taking everything out, it ended up being like 520 tons of stuff that they took out of the house.
Jesus.
They demolished the house because it was such a terrible story. And now there's what's called, Alan might know this because you've lived in New York, a pocket park, where it's just like a little area.
Yeah.
They've turned into a park. So right there where their house used to be, they've turned it into a little park. And they intentionally only put like one tree and one bench. and nothing else.
Unlikely to crush people to death.
Yeah, well, they don't want to.
And a canoe.
They don't want to hoard up the place, but so basically, if people come, they can visit the park and
buy drugs.
They say if you go there at night and be real quiet,
smell oranges.
You can hear
I was
Homer.
going to say it smells like orange.
You hear Homer going, "Oh."
You have the faint smell of oranges.
Yeah.
It's an orange tree.
It's an orange tree.
Well, that is an amazing story, and that brings us to tonight's sponsor of the show, Fred.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh.
That's right. Tonight's episode of the PLC podcast is brought to you by Touch Your Junk removal services. Fred, do you ever look down and think, man, I just have too much junk down there? Fred, has your junk ever been covered up for so long that it gets too gross for you to handle on your own? That's where Touch Your Junk removal comes in. We have lots of employees with eager hands that just can't wait to get their hands all up on your junk. Is it too hard to get your junk from the front? That's okay. Just ask our registered pros for the old reach around, and they'll sneak right up when you're not looking and get a real good grasp of your junk. Even in the middle of the day. Touch Your Junk removal. You're going to love letting us handle your junk. No junk removal within 200 yards of schools or public parks. That's tonight's sponsor, Fred. And back to the show.
Oh my goodness.
So after all that,
Wow.
they killed themselves. Sort of.
Dang, that was.
So did the brother starve then, or?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I
Okay.
thought.
I didn't know if he got the
Yeah.
oranges to him
Starved.
before
He
he
was
got trapped.
already malnourished. If you wouldn't eat him but oranges
Yeah,
all
he was
day.
already. So even before this, I mean, he had been living on a diet of oranges for weeks. So I mean, he didn't have scurvy, but
All right.
but
Which was pretty common.
Something good.
yeah, but he had
Back then.
already. I mean, he was already really weak, and that's what the officers had mentioned. I mean, there's reports about it. Basically, they had determined that he had been alive for probably about a week after his brother had been crushed. So even though he couldn't see, he couldn't move because he was so weak, but
can
he
smell.
could hear
Yeah.
the rats eating his brother. Couldn't do anything about it.
Good times.
Yeah.
Well, Fred, that actually
He's
reminds me
there.
of, have you heard of Zana Samanzova?
Oh, yeah.
She
I
is,
know that guy.
yeah, you know her. She's a Russian blogger who actually died at the age of 39 because she ate a fruit-only diet. She never drank water, and she died of
Oh,
malnourishment.
that lady. I heard about
So
that.
people were stupid in the 40s, and they're still stupid today.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
We got that going for us.
Insane.
All right. Is that, you got anything else for your murder closet or your Chifforobe of curiosities?
No, but I do have to say, because you were talking about the lady who only ate the fruit diet,
Yep.
there are also people who are insistent that they don't eat anything and they just survive from the sun and air.
They ain't
Get all the
gonna survive long.
nutrients from the sun.
Oh,
Okay.
well, it's a lot of vitamin B.
Yeah.
They have a name, but I don't know what it is.
Idiots.
I can't remember.
Morons.
That's true.
Called Nancy's.
Nancy's.
It's another name for, old-timey name for gay people.
Yes. So what was it? What was the guy? We did the thing.
The guy who did the thing?
No, we did the thing on the Nancy or the.
Oh, you're talking about the quiz we did?
Yeah.
The Fancy
Yeah,
Lad quiz?
Was it Fancy Lad?
Or no, it wasn't,
Dandy.
but it wasn't called that.
Dandy.
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 Yeah, Dandy.
Bunch of dandies.
Candyman.
That's right. Shana she listened to that one and she was like, I keep saying dandy man over and over and over.
That was one of the ones that I got so frustrated with because y'all were trying to find the name Todd Chrisley, and I'm like, the whole
Oh,
time,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
God, it's Todd Chrisley. And you're like, let me Google it. I don't know. And I'm like, son of a bitch. If I was on there, I could just be
She
like,
knows so much about that dude. She loves him.
He's in
Now
prison
he's in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eating nothing but fruit.
Apparently, he's having to deal with rats too.
No, I'm sure he is.
I'm sure he is.
And no air conditioning.
See, that's the only. Okay, so if I was ever to commit a crime, and I would never commit a crime, kids, I would commit a crime in a colder weather environment than in the South.
Yeah.
Because there's no AC, man. Like,
But there's no guarantee. They'll ship you down to somewhere else if they're overcrowded.
well, no, but not if I commit a crime.
Not if it's a white collar crime. Usually they have it easier, but
You see, your boy Murdaugh has been like tweeting selfies from prison.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
They're living it up.
You're living it up, man.
Oh, geez.
They're just living it up. Yo, if you go to
gotta love it.
Wikipedia, they got pictures of the park
Oh,
and
what's it called?
of the Collier Brothers Park.
Collier's Bros Park.
Collier Brothers.
Collier brother.
Mm-hmm.
Call your brothers
and
and tell
Call
them
your-
you love him.
Oh yeah, there it is. Call your brother and tell him to eat more oranges.
Yeah, look at that shit. Look at that.
That's a
man.
very small park.
Mess. They got pictures of the house too. That's a mess.
Oh, it's right on the edge.
Oh no, it's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
How
If
did
you
they
look at
get-
the pictures, I mean, they had a ton of stuff. That's actually what I do to my kids when I really want to clean the house. I'm like, I put on hoarders. And I'm like, do you see this? Do you
Yeah,
wanna
there
learn
it is.
like
Yeah, you
that?
can see
You
in
want
the
to live
house.
like that? You want to live like that?
There he is, climbing
I've
the
been in
fence.
houses like that, and I do not want to have that.
I'll
So-
tell you one thing about the Collier brothers that maybe is underappreciated. Let me say, Alan, if you don't mind, put this on the screen so that you can show it to the kids at home.
I'm guessing they had some pretty good mustaches.
You're damn right they did. Look at that mustache. You know, a friend of ours would love to know about that mustache.
Look at that mustache.
So I'm just saying, maybe he convinced him. Maybe he was the one who's like, love that mustache, eat more fruit.
Yeah, eat some oranges,
He's like, it's good for your mustache, Homer.
He grew that when he was
Yeah,
kid,
the
just
juice
around.
is the twirl it up.
Yeah, the juice will give you the catfish hunter vibe, see? Well,
Twirl it up.
thank you, darling, for coming on the show and enlightening us about some hoarders, or the first, I guess technically the first hoarders.
The first hoarder.
The Collier brothers.
I'll call yous. We're going to call you later and take a quick break. And we'll be back with more of this show.
Could be a call you later.
I'll see you in hell, Alan. You son of a bitch.
The Black Lincoln Collective podcast will return after a word from our sponsors.
Are you tired of leaving your bets to chance? Want to level up your sports gambling game? Look no further than Hit the Books, your go-to source for in-depth analysis, data-driven insights, and expert tips that will take your betting game to the next level. With Hit the Books, you'll dive into the pages of statistics, historical trends, and player performances, gaining a profound understanding of every matchup. From the NFL to the NBA, from soccer showdowns to the World Series, Hit the Books covers all the major leagues, ensuring you never miss a betting opportunity. Don't leave your bets to chance. Tune in to Hit the Books and elevate your sports gambling game to unprecedented heights. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast platform, and let's hit the books together.
Paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call at the front desk.
Welcome back to the 104th edition of the Black Lincoln Collective podcast, where all we talk about is people dying, apparently.
That's it.
I'm doing my
Dead.
Fred pose.
Yeah, Alan's doing his Fred lean.
You're doing the Fred. Oh, you're doing the Fred. Yeah.
Yeah, doing the Fred. That's what we ought to call it.
Let's kick
Yeah,
back.
everybody just take a nap. That's what's happening in the second half of the show.
Chill on the.
We got 54 more minutes of this, guys.
Yeah. And I'm Alan.
There you go. We'll just do impressions of each other.
There you go.
I'll do an impression of Alan.
This is my impression of Parker. Shana, no, please don't.
Yeah, not like this. Not on camera. Yeah, don't Cardi B me, please. Speaking of that, did you see that? You were watching what?
I was watching 2012 earlier today, and I was like, Matt should go as God damn it, I forgot his name.
2012, is that a movie?
2012 with the junkie.
Yeah. Oliver
Woody
Platt.
Harrelson?
I was like, he should go as Oliver Platt for Halloween.
No one's gonna get that. Who would get that?
We will.
Yeah, we will. Sure.
You can walk around with like a big alligator.
That's Oliver Platt. I never knew who that was.
Yeah.
Oliver Platt is awesome.
He's in The Bear.
I love
Watch him in The Bear.
I love him in all of the stuff that he's in. He's underrated.
Yeah, he really is. He really is.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, just like me.
You walk around with a big ass gator. I'm Oliver Platt from that movie with Betty
From
White.
television.
What was the movie with Betty White? The big gator, big ass alligator.
Oh, Gator.
No.
No.
Gator.
Lake Placid.
Yes.
Lake Placid.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lake
I'll be
Placid.
Cloris Leachman from Lake Placid.
Lake Placid. Yeah.
Late flaccid.
Lake Placid. Don't get it there. Take a good song.
Wow, Betty White made that movie when she was only 77 years old.
Was it Betty White? I thought it was.
Yeah, it's Betty
My
White.
bad.
Yeah. I was wondering. I was like, Cloris Leachman?
No, it was Betty White. I knew it was an old white lady.
Yeah.
It was
Bridget Fonda was also in it.
50-50.
Yeah, I love Bridget Fonda.
And Bill Pullman.
He was.
And Meredith Salinger, whoever that is.
I don't know her. Not important.
She's famous from movies.
That movie.
Movies. It's Fred's not as great movies.
Movies.
All right. Well, great story.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, Oliver.
Oliver Platt.
You.
Actually, he was good in that movie, man. He was a douchebag, man. He was awesome.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made me.
He killed his mom and shit. He's like, I don't care. She's old.
You would be a perfect Oliver Platt, Matt.
Thank you very much. That's all I ever wanted.
And he's like, "What? You want to give up your seat for some Chinese workers? Be my guest."
Yeah, that's right. He did do that.
I was like, "Damn, Oliver Platt."
Like Oliver Platt doesn't play.
Oliver Platt don't play. Oh my god.
Well, I got a question for you, Fred, and the group.
Fire away.
Okay, would you tell a vegetarian person if they've been eating meat unknowingly?
Yes.
Nah.
No. What if they're douchey about it?
Like, what's the context?
Even more so.
Like if they were eating, let's say, like a Caesar salad. And,
Yeah.
you know, Caesar salad dressing has anchovies
Has
in it.
anchovies in it. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Would you
if they're
tell
cool
them?
people, I wouldn't. But if they're douchebags, I would. I'd be like, hey, you douchebag.
Or if they're well. Okay, wait. So if they're cool, you wouldn't.
No, because, I mean, that would ruin it for
But-
them. I let them look it up on the internet.
Yeah, find out for yourself.
See, I feel like it would be the opposite. If they were a douchebag, I wouldn't tell them because, like, it would be funny. I would be like, "Hey, you guys want to go get some salads?" Like all the time. Like, let's go get some Caesar salad, you guys. I love that shit.
So I would wait and let them eat the Caesar salad.
Right.
And then be like, just so you know,
It's got meat in it.
you're eating all the anchovies.
You eat
Like-
meat.
You're eating all the meat. And I hope you enjoyed it. You
Yes.
douchebag.
Might as well get a burger. Let's go.
It's true.
A cool person, I would warn them, like, oh, just so you know.
Hey, man. This shit got anchovies in it.
Right. Like, hey, watch out, buddy. Watch out for them fishes.
But I thought the question was if you knew they were, in other words, they've been eating it for a while, and these are cool people. I don't know if I'd be the one to be like, hey, man, you know, you're eating meat.
Yeah, fuck up their whole shit.
You know, because they're cool people. And if they're douchebags, I'd be like, hey, you motherfucker, you've been telling me how great vegetarian is, but you've been eating meat. Well, I'm eating a piece of steak. I'm like,
Like, you're eating dead fish. Eat a dick. Why don't you eat this meat?
With the eyeballs in it and everything.
Delicious.
They put the whole thing in there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yummy.
All righty then. You live a level what?
A good Caesar. I really love a good Caesar.
There you go.
Pizza salad is delicious.
Delicious.
Didn't think so when I was a kid, but now.
So you notice how like every other week we're like talking about deep fried stuff. And I'm
Food.
like, well, let's go on and on and on. And you're like, Caesar salad. I'm like, well, let's end the show. Fuck that. Like no croutons, no cheese. We're out.
Yeah, Parmesan though.
You do croutons, Fred? You like the croutons?
Yeah, I like the croutons. I like the Parmesan.
Yeah.
I like
Love
the
it all.
Parmesan flakes, not the
Oh, the
shredded.
big chunks. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the big flakes.
There you go.
That's delicious.
Delicious.
Wow.
Gripping content.
Wow. This is why they pay us, Fred.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much to my lovely wife. Thank you so much to Fred and to Alan for sticking with us. We'll see you next week.
I'll see you later. You almost said it.
Nope.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't
You
want to say it. No, I was trying to think of a funnier way to end the show, and then I couldn't, so I didn't say anything. I said, we'll see you next week. We'll BL Caesar salad. Finally did it. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night to us all.
We are laughing. And we are very good friends. Good buddies, sharing a special moment.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Just hang loose, blood. She's gonna catch up on the rebound on the men's side.
Oh, what a day. What a fucking day.
Well, that's all, folks.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Goddamn hit. Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
As you know, I'm a man of special needs.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.